Hello, everyone.
Look, Marcello is back.
I've returned.
Yes, for comfort food.
Exactly.
I thought it was maybe going to be Italian comfort food, but that might have to be another time.
Yeah, we'll have to do another separate episode on that.
Yeah, because I am going to be serving the comfort food that is haggis, which is sort of organ meats that have been prepared with oatmeal, stuffed in a sheep's stomach lining. The stomach bits aren't in there. That's used for something else.
Okay.
Which sounds just so gross, but it's really no grosser than it's no grosser than hot dogs, which is in
sausage,
intestines.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like whatever, right? So yes, we've got that to look forward to. But there's a little bit of homework I want to take care of first, business anyway.
Let's do it.
So Malcolm Guite, who is an amazing writer, he is I think it's called a rector in the Church of England, and he also, I believe, is a lecturer at Cambridge. He writes a sonnet a day.
Wow. And
it's just, they're awesome. But this book he has prepared, it's a poem a day for Lent and Easter seasons. It's called The Word in the Wilderness, and you can get it, I think, on Amazon. Just Google it around and you'll find where you can get it. But I'm going to be using this a lot of mornings as Lent comes up, just because a poem a day, that sounds like a nice thing, doesn't it? So they're not all by Malcolm, they're by other people too. Like,
oh, okay.
So it's a collection. Some I'm sure are from him. I haven't even looked through it yet. But just out of respect for him, I thought, I think I'll do that this year. So I'm going to pull that in. So The Word in the Wilderness, just reminding you of that. And also, because I always forget at the end of the show, I want to say, remember to subscribe to us and like us and tell all your friends to do the same.
We like to be liked.
We like to be liked, because that way, there'll be more followers, and it'll just be more fun, and we'll get more feedback, and we can plan what we're going to say based on what people want to hear. So that's really cool. So now, what are we going to say?
We were talking about comfort.
Right. So
especially
you can
food,
just entertain the folk,
right.
because we're going to give Scottish comfort food to an Italian and see if it's comforting at all.
This is my first experience with haggis. I've heard about it, and when Jeannie said she had a vegetarian version, I was on board for it. Wow.
And it actually looks just like this and has a really similar texture and taste. It's pretty amazing. But I have to stop you first. Okay. So you put a little whiskey on it. So Scottish food, interestingly enough, has oftentimes oats, and then here you can do it yourself, just one little capful, and you put it on the haggis. Right now, this is kind of a poor folks food. It's not like the best cuts of meat, it's the sort of leftover cuts of meat.
Right.
And Robert Burns, who is the sort of famous poet of Scotland, wrote a poem. The address to the haggis is kind of an ode to the haggis, which is very famous. And in every Burns supper, which is his birthday is the 25th of January, so we're not that late. In Scotland, there's a Burns supper season, so kind of anywhere between kind of December and February.
Found some justification for it.
There will be, different organizations will have them. Certainly Burns clubs, but other organizations will have them.
Sure.
And it was the first one was done, I believe, the year after he died, and they have the same format as that one. So they're an 18th century format. So it's like the only thing I can think of that we still might do is a roast, how there's like speeches and stuff. But so it's the same food every year, and then they always do the address to the haggis, this big poem all about the haggis. It's very tongue in cheek. It's very funny.
Okay.
So, shall we?
Well, what else is on here?
Okay, and it's always eaten with turnips.
Mashed potatoes.
And this is kale. And it doesn't always have kale. My family always had kale, and you said the last time you were here, or at least when we were talking last. Wow, that's like not a new food.
Kale was actually it was actually a vegetable.
So even though it's like a
ate.
super cool sort of hipster food now,
I didn't think kale existed before 10 years ago.
And we actually talked about this last year, Blake and I, when he was on, because we had like all sorts of kale snacks, like.
Oh, that's delicious.
It's delicious.
It is.
It's maybe not hot enough. Oh well.
No, that's good. I think the whiskey's making it hotter.
Maybe. Yeah, it's like chemical cooking.
Yeah, give me a recipe for this.
Okay. So this is Scottish comfort food that I have made vegetarian. Actually, most of it's vegetarian except for, the haggis.
This is the first Scottish food I've ever eaten.
Really? Seriously?
You're my whole link to Scottish culture, you and Russ.
Back to comfort food, I was saying, every single week, like top of my list of this week, I will accomplish this, is lose 2 pounds. And my life is so stressful that I eat for comfort. So I suppose small portions of comfort food would be better, but how do you do that, right?
Yeah, that's kind of difficult.
Yeah, so do you think is there an element of Hasatan in this? Could you see yourself overeating this stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If I have a demon, it is comfort food.
Mm.
I seem to have avoided most of the other vices in life, but.
So, you think Satan is a demon? I don't know. What's the definition of demon?
It's kind of become a personification of it. There is actually a Buddhist kind of Satan or demon named Mara.
Mara?
Mara, M-A-R-A.
Oh, wow.
And it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of temptation and desire and craving.
Is it in human form?
It takes many forms.
Okay. Shapeshifter.
Mm-hmm.
Which I suppose the devil, which is not Satan, because Satan is Hebrew Satan is the adversary, but the devil, diable, I believe that is Persian, and again that was this sort of other god, the sort of bad god, good god, bad god type of thing. So it's totally different. Yeah. And that seems to take on a sort of shape-shifting sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting though, because I mean, if we are brought up and have come on our own to feel a sense of a relational God that relates to us as humans, it's hard not to give that sensation human qualities. That. Yeah. So, it would only make sense that we do that for the sort of things that lead us astray.
Yeah, in so many ways we tend to personify things. I mean, people have done it throughout the ages,
Yeah.
Ancient Greek and Roman gods and.
I do it like totally all the time with everything. I admit that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have a favorite color. Because, I mean, I sort of do, but I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to make the other colors feel bad.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We do it with cars.
I know. We do, yeah, totally.
I named a guitar I had once.
Yeah, and when you do have to, like, trade in your old car, you feel really sad and like you cry.
Like you're abandoning an old pet or something.
Like, I know, it's horrible. It really is funny, and you just like, oh, the memories I had with you, car, and the memories you had with me, car. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I guess it's just part of how we are programmed to relate to each other and relate to our world. We just can't help it. Mm-hmm. Although, I saw a really cool thing yesterday. I was watching the new Cosmos, and they were talking about how like there's a universe like sort of within all of us.
Right.
So sort of they talk about the macro and then they talk about the micro, and they were going into smaller and smaller and smaller bits of cells, and it was like this. It was dark, and there was like this highway of like dots that looked sort of electrical, and then there was this like little round ball on a stem with like 2 little legs, and it was like walking down like a bridge, and they said, and this is the proteins, this is a special protein that brings nutrients to different parts of the cell. Everybody has these within them, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're so cute, they're so lovely, and I was thinking, oh, I love them. So it's a bit like Star Wars and the Metachlorians. I was like, oh wow, these are like my little Metachlorians doing stuff. All right, now Hasatan is really involved in this now. Because we're not done.
He's bringing out the big guns.
I am. I'm bringing out big guns. As if haggis and mashed potatoes and turnip and kale was not comforting enough.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely satanic.
This is totally satanic. This is totally satanic. And it's called Kranikin.
Kranikin? Wow.
Kranikin. Again, oats.
Uh-huh. This seems to be a recurring theme.
Again, whiskey.
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 Okay.
Yeah, so this
and
is the
white
pudding.
Is yogurt?
No, it's whipped cream.
Yeah, Satan definitely had his hand in this.
It's awesome.
he worked through you.
I know, and it's just like, this is the total last thing I should be eating.
You had a little angel on one shoulder telling you, you know, to bring some fresh fruit or something, and you just kind of brushed it off.
Yes. Oh, but there is fresh fruit. There's raspberries in it.
Exactly. And oats,
Yeah.
they'd lower cholesterol.
Oats, totally. And hazelnuts. Which weirdly, in the old religion, hazelnuts were believed to impart intuition. And so they were fed exclusively to boys. No offense to your gender. But the belief was that women were born with a certain amount of that, but men were not.
Oh, I thought it was
Especially
like, why
boys.
waste it on the women? But okay, it's even better.
Ooh!
Not that I buy into that myself, but
No. My understanding is
Wow.
that the pre-Christian culture was matriarchal,
absolutely.
but since there's no written evidence of that, I'm not sure how they know that. And two things: you're comforting yourself because it's winter, and this is the week when we recognize the light. And
In bulk.
Imbolc, correct. Imbolc is the pre-Christian holiday that recognizes the light in Celtic cultures, and the church was right there too, because that's Candlemas, when they dedicate, either make and dedicate or just dedicate all of the candles for the rest of the year. And it's also the purification of Mary, and the presentation of Jesus at the temple is on that same day, February 2nd. And Groundhog's Day, which is Celtic. I mean, I think in Germany
Is it?
that's